Skin and Heart Away 7T. Back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all smash that like button for your boy. When you roll on in, you know what we here for, man. We here for the weekend recap. We gonna talk about the best fights, you know what I mean, of the weekend. Couple in particular. It wasn't a whole lot of, fights this weekend, but Canelo Alvarez, he did fight this weekend, right? And then for my MMAers, we did have Henry Cejudo make his return against Aljamain Sterling in a dang good fight. I don't know if y'all got a chance to check that one out, but hopefully y'all did. But if y'all didn't, that's what we here for this morning. That's what we here for this morning. We gonna talk about it. I got two questions today. Got two questions, right? First question is, has Canelo Alvarez lost it? Don't know if y'all checked out the fight last night, but some people feel like, Canelo had an underwhelming performance, right? Some people feel like that, Canelo, did what he supposed to do, and John Ryder is, a hard guy to deal with, right? So that calls for Canelo's bit of a shaky performance, right? We here to talk about it. What reason, you think? What reason I think, right? And Aljamain Sterling last night, he took on Henry Cejudo, and what I thought was an impressive performance by Aljamain Sterling. I think I'm gonna actually start with Aljamain Sterling. I think I'm gonna actually start with Aljamain Sterling. The MMA, right? But Aljamain Sterling faced off against Henry Cejudo last night. Henry Cejudo been off about 3 years. I think he coming off a 3-year layoff. Right, versus Aljamain Sterling, who's the current champion. Been giving the division hell ever since Peter Yan. He the way he originally got the belts right. People question. The way he originally got the belts right, people questioned the way that he got them. Him and Peter Yan had that famous or infamous, right? However you look at it, fight where Peter Yan pretty much, Aljamain Sterling came out in the first round and he dominated, Peter Yan. What it looked like to the eye was Aljamain Sterling gassed out in the first round, and Peter Yan pretty much, he put hands on Aljamain Sterling for about 4 rounds, right? But not only did Aljamain gas out, right, from the outside looking in, it kind of looked like Aljamain, just quit, right? He was mostly just laying on the ground, trying to entice Peter Yan to come down to the ground. Peter Yan was just, hitting on him for the most time. Aljamain would just start the round. They'll engage in Aljamain to hit the ground. It looked real odd, watching it. We found out that after the fight, right, that Aljamain had messed up. I think it was a disc in his back or something like that, which caused him to fight like that, right? But even more weird, right? During that fight, Aljamain Sterling actually won that fight because at some point, right, Peter Yan just got tired of beating on Aljamain Sterling, and he got frustrated, and he threw a knee at Aljamain Sterling while Aljamain Sterling was still on the ground, which led to Peter Yan being disqualified, and it led to Aljamain Sterling winning his championship. A lot of people didn't give Aljamain Sterling credit for that win, because if you saw it, man, he pretty much was getting beat up the whole fight, and Peter Yan need him, and he got himself eliminated. All right. So Aljamain Sterling had one title defense in between that, right? If I'm not mistaken, he won that one. But even still, people wouldn't give him his credit because we all saw, how you got that belt with Peter Yan. So the Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling rematch, happens, right? Aljamain Sterling goes out there, he dominates Peter Yan, gets his belt, right? Gets his respect back, and he's won 2 fights since dominating Peter Yan. He's won 2 fights since dominating Peter Yan in dominating fashion, right? So Henry Cejudo, before all of this happened, before what I just explained, right? Before all of that happened with Aljamain Sterling, there was a guy in Aljamain Sterling's division. I think that's the bantamweight division. There was a guy in Aljamain Sterling's division who seemed to be, you know what I mean, not only the best fighter in that division, but who seemed to be, you know, probably one of the best fighters of all time in MMA. And that's Henry Cejudo. Flyweight division, my bad. Flyweight division, the flyweight, what I say, bantamweight, the flyweight division. Henry Cejudo was a 2 champ. You know, he was a champion in 2 divisions when he was in the UFC. He was the flyweight champion, and he was also the bantamweight champion. Bantamweight is where they fought at last night. Flyweight is where Henry Cejudo originally came from. So let me get that together. What's good, Slim, Jazz, Ray, Cornbread? Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could hit that thumbs up for your boy. But Henry Cejudo is the former, 2 division champion in MMA. And 2 division champion in boxing, that happens, right? But in MMA, that's almost unheard of. It's only been about 5 of them in the history of UFC, 4 or 5 of them, right, in the history of UFC. And Henry Cejudo, I think, was the second. I think he was the second fighter, you know what I mean, to do this. Henry Cejudo was also in the Olympic gold medalist, you know what I mean, in wrestling, right? So before, Aljamain Sterling started his run at the bantamweight division, the bantamweight champion, Henry Cejudo, who's also the flyweight champion, right? He retired. He took a hiatus. For about he took a hiatus for about. Good morning, Bears. We appreciate you sliding through. He took a hiatus for about 3 years. Did Henry Cejudo, right? And he seen Aljamain Sterling running the division, right? And Henry Cejudo, he started kind of on social media. He started kind of poking at Aljamain, like Aljamain. Everybody know I'm the real champ. After Aljamain's last fight, Henry Cejudo tagged Aljamain Sterling in the Twitter post, and he said, everybody know, I'm the real champ, but he said, I'm gonna give you a chance to prove yourself, keep my belts warm because I'm coming back, right? Now, a lot of people thought that was just the hype. A lot of people thought, that was just the hype, of the fight, the hype of the moment. Aljamain Sterling coming off a win. Henry Cejudo, you know what I mean, wanting to poke fun at him, wanting to mess with him. But everybody quickly found out that Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo was a real thing, and they started like the press and the promotion for their fight, like simultaneously after Aljamain Sterling's last fight, right? So we knew we had this fight coming for a minute. Now Henry Cejudo going into this fight, he was the favorite in this fight, slight favorite in this fight. If y'all, he's at bad breaks last night, back to the grind. I did win Kentucky Derby, a little something. Heck yeah, True. Heck yeah, shout out my guy, True Allah. Appreciate you sliding through this joint, True. Yep. And the game started early today, about 10 a.m. So that's why I came on, early, so I can do this joint, and then I could do my, my legs, right? But I digress. So Henry Cejudo was the slight favorite in this fight. When I say slight favorite, I mean slight, right? But understand, right, what was going on, because Henry Cejudo was the favorite in this fight last night. Henry Cejudo hadn't fought in 3 years. He's the former double UFC champ, flyweight and bantamweight. He's a wrestling coach. That's what he's been doing since he's been retired. He's a wrestling coach. He's been training some of the top guys in the UFC, right? Been training some of the top guys since he retired from the UFC a couple years ago. He's been training some of the top guys in the UFC ever since then. So he hadn't been actively fighting, right? but he's still been around the game. He still has a stable. He still has a stable of guys. You know what I mean, that he work with. So understand, this is like old legend, right? This is like old legend, like old legend, old GOAT. The fighter who a lot of people feel like is the GOAT, and Henry Cejudo, right? Versus the new wave, you know, the new guy in town, Aljamain Sterling, who seems to be unbeatable. You know what I mean, right now at this moment. So Henry Cejudo was a slight favorite last night. I'm not gonna lie. I like Aljamain Sterling, right? But Aljamain Sterling is one of those guys that I like him, right? And it's not even just me. It's like the whole MMA world, and it's crazy for as good as Aljamain Sterling is, right? It's not even just me. It's like the whole MMA world. It's like we see Aljamain Sterling, right? And we know he good. We can see he got the talent, but we still don't believe in him, right? We still don't believe him. We're like, dude might get Aljamain. I don't know if Aljamain will be able to. What if Aljamain can't take him down, right? It's like Aljamain is good. He's beat some good guys, but we question Aljamain a whole lot. Me too. And I say we because I'm part of that thing too. You know what I mean? I even go so far to say I questioned him last night. I took a lot of bad breaks last night, and I made me a late parlay, right? I took Canelo Alvarez to go the distance. I took the Lakers. And I took Canelo Alvarez to go the distance. I took the Lakers, and I took Henry Cejudo on points. You know what I mean? Because I knew that fight was going to go the distance, right? I had a little better. It was a little better odds. It was a little better odds on. It was a little better odds on Henry Cejudo on points than that fight to go the distance. I was like, man, if I think somebody go in, I think Henry go in, and I think that thing gonna go the distance. So on my late parlay, I took Canelo Alvarez to go the distance, which was plus 850. I took the Lakers, and I took Henry Cejudo on points. I bet $2 to win $75, right? So we all know Canelo Alvarez went to points. We all know the Lakers won. Guess who didn't hit their parlay for me last night? Henry Cejudo on the points. Aljamain Sterling was actually able to out-wrestle one of the greatest wrestlers ever to get in the UFC, one of the greatest wrestlers, wrestling coach, you know what I mean, Olympic gold medalist, Henry Cejudo. Like, he was able to out-wrestle. Going into the fight, I was thinking in my head, I was like, I saw them next to each other. Aljamain he's a taller guy. He's a taller guy, right? But Henry Cejudo is short and compact, right? I'm like, man, if Henry Cejudo get a hold of Aljamain, he gonna be able to, control him, right? But when the fight started, it was the exact opposite. Henry Cejudo was the more solid guy, right? But you could tell when they lock up, when they grab each other, that Aljamain Sterling was actually the stronger fighter in the ring. Actually, when they got in the ring, you could see that Aljamain Sterling was bigger than Henry Cejudo. Henry Cejudo was short and compact, but as far as the size, it's like Aljamain was almost towering him a little bit. When Aljamain, early in like the first two rounds, like the first and second, when they would clinch up, it was about even, a bunch of tossing and turning, a bunch of spinning and turning. But even then, in my mind, I'm like, man, I thought when they lock up, Henry will be able to control him, you know what I mean, a little better. And Aljamain looking strong right now. Aljamain looking like, you know what I mean, he looking a little better than I thought he would when they lock up, when he lock up with that gold medalist, right? But I kept watching the fight, and then in the first round? I think it was like late first round, right? Here's Cejudo ended up taking Aljamain Sterling down. He took him down kind of easy too, right? So I was like, okay, yeah, there go that strength advantage that I was looking for. There you go, Henry, right? Henry had him down for about 30 seconds. And this one, it became scary hours for your boy. Henry had him down about 30 seconds, but I saw Aljamain go from full guard to on his side, to on his knees, to on his feet, from a Henry Cejudo takedown in all of about maybe 20 seconds, right? Now, that was the first red flag I saw, right? But in my mind, I'm watching the fight. I'm like, okay, Henry still can get him. But that was the first red flag. I'm like, man, he just got up off the ground, and Henry had him, in full guard. I ain't never seen nobody get away from under Henry full guard, you know, and not. I ain't never seen nobody do it so easy. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, I'm like, he just got up from that full guard kind of quick. I'm like, okay, well, at least Henry, you know, about to win this round, right? It's about a minute and 11 seconds left in the first round. And then something happened, right? Then something happened where I kind of knew that I was about to lose my money on Henry Cejudo with the points, right? I kind of knew this where I knew I fucked up at, right? This where I knew I fucked up at. So it's about a minute and 10 seconds left. Aljamain just got off the ground from the Henry Cejudo takedown, right? So Henry Cejudo was winning the round. So I guess he hit the Aljamain head. He was like, fuck all this, you know, these little kicks and shit. He just took me down. So I'm about to try to take him down. You know what I mean? So Aljamain get up. He grabbed Henry Cejudo. They tussled a little bit. They hit the cage. Henry Cejudo got Aljamain pinned to the cage. I'm like, hell yeah, we about to win this first round, right? He had him pinned to the cage about 3 seconds. After about 3 seconds, I see Aljamain spin Henry Cejudo and then take Henry Cejudo down. Now it's about 57 seconds left in the round right now. I'm like, okay, Henry Cejudo got this round. He ain't gonna take, a whole lot of damage on the ground. He go get up, he go get out the round, and he go win it. But second red flag, right? When Henry Cejudo took Aljamain Sterling down, he was trying to pin him down. He wasn't really throwing no strikes, doing no damage. You know what I mean? Aljamain kind of got up, right? When Aljamain took Henry Cejudo down, Aljamain was able to hold Henry Cejudo down for about 1 minute. He landed a couple strikes in that first round on the ground, and Henry Cejudo, he couldn't get Aljamain Sterling up off him. But it was only a minute left in the first round, right? So the bell, ended, and they both got up. I saw that, and at that moment, I was like, man, I think Aljamain may have the wrestling advantage. So I think Henry Cejudo should try to strike him. In the second round, Henry Cejudo came out and he was striking him. He came out and he was striking him. He was doing a pretty good job of it too. But in the second round, like about midway through the second round, they were having a stand-up battle. Henry Cejudo was winning the stand-up battle. Aljamain grabbed Henry Cejudo, right? They did the little spin thing again because they both strong as an odds, right? They did the little spin thing again. But this time, Aljamain ended up with Henry Cejudo's back on the cage. So at this point in my mind, I'm like, my Henry got to get up off this cage, bro. And then Aljamain dropped low on Henry's legs. Henry kind of did a split. He did a real split. Boy did a split, and Aljamain ended up taking him down. Aljamain took him down this time with about a minute and 40 seconds left, roughly. A minute and 30-something seconds left, roughly. He was able to keep Henry down, for that whole minute. So basically, what I'm getting at is, we always, at least me, right, the community, right, I think it's time we stop down Aljamain Sterling, man, myself included. I bet against Aljamain Sterling against Peter Yan too, and I bet against Aljamain Sterling last night against Henry Cejudo, and that man proved me wrong 2 straight times. So what I'm going to do today, Aljamain, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. My Jamaican brother, I'm sorry, bro. You the real, bro. You the real, bro. That Peter Yan thing was the anomaly. That wasn't who you was. He had a terrible fight against Peter Yan. Like, terrible. He was literally on his back the whole time. The man was just laying down, open up his legs and shit. I swear to God, like, y'all got to see it. Y'all would not think that Aljamain Sterling, that guy that we watched last night, if I show you that first Peter Yan fight, y'all wouldn't believe that was the same goddamn dude. I'm telling y'all. And ever since then, that's been in my head, and I really can't trust him because I felt like he quit. But he ended up winning that fight because dude kneed him in the head when he was on the ground. He got disqualified, and that's how Aljamain Sterling won his belt. Which is where the question came in from Aljamain anyway, right? But Henry Cejudo, gold medalist, wrestling coach, flyweight champion, and bantamweight champion, double champion, only one of 4 people to ever do that in the UFC. Aljamain Sterling dominated that man. I think at this point, we at least got to call Aljamain Sterling the GOAT at bantamweight. A win over Henry Cejudo, a win over Peter Yan. A win over Henry Cejudo, a win over Peter Yan. On top of everybody doubting him, me included, my bad, bro. On top of everybody doubting him, we gotta give Aljamain Sterling his flowers, but that man put on a hell of a performance. I saw something. I wonder if I could find it. Henry Cejudo and Aljamain Sterling, they had a little beef, but I saw something on the internet. Where they saw each other backstage. Henry Cejudo, and I like this. Henry Cejudo, gold medalist, wrestler, right? Wrestling coach, one of the best fighters to ever do it. He came. He saw Aljamain Sterling in the back. I'm looking for it as I talk to y'all. He saw He saw Aljamain Sterling in the back, and he walked up to him. He hit him on the stomach. He was like, "Hey, bro, you surprised me with that wrestling." I'm gonna tell y'all this, dog. He surprised me with that wrestling. I was saying beforehand, I was like, man, the wrestling go even out. And I don't think he's a better striker than Henry Cejudo. But last night, I saw that Aljamain Sterling is actually a better wrestler than Henry Cejudo, and he's a better striker than Henry Cejudo. You know what I mean? I don't see too many people being able to compete with Aljamain Sterling, let alone beat him. Now the fight that's about to happen, right? I don't know if y'all saw the aftermath, right? But Sean O'Malley, y'all know Sean O'Malley, Tekashi 6ix9ine best friend. Sean O'Malley, he be running the color for her too. Sean O'Malley can fight. That's a bad white boy. Badass white boy. I'm getting ready to bet against Aljamain again. Look, my man, that's fucked up, ain't it? That's badass white boy. Sean O'Malley hopped in the ring with his Michael Jackson jacket on. I'm see if I can find that too. He had the Michael Jackson jacket on. Sean O'Malley hopped in the ring with the Michael Jackson jacket on, right? Here you go with the Michael Jackson jacket on. I found the Michael Jackson jacket. I ain't found where he hopped in the ring, but I found the jacket. So he hopped in the ring with the Michael Jackson jacket on, right?
Nothing really. That was the first time I was really face to face with Aljo. I've had confrontation with him and had with our clothes on. But seeing he's jacked. That dude's jacked.
See, Ed, I was saying the same thing. Bro, I thought Hudo's short and compact, right? Hudo's short and compact, bro. Aljamain was bigger than that man. I said, bro. But I should have known, but see that tall, slender shit, it throw you off. You look at it too quick, you like, man, what is there? But then you get up on him, you be like, nah, that nigga ain't that little. When they got in the ring, bro, he was way bigger than him. I said, dang, that's crazy, way bigger than him. He'll grab Henry, and that man's arms will literally be over Henry's whole body. Like, he'll grab him, wrap him up. I said, bro, this ain't good. Aljamain a bad boy, dog. That's a bad boy, man. Like, that's a bad boy. I think if he never would have had that first fight against Peter Yan, but he slipped his disc, right? We know that now. That's why he was laying out on the ground and shit like that. He wasn't fighting. He was just laying there, really, bro, just getting beat up. Peter Yan was beating his ass, though. He wasn't bleeding or nothing. That was crazy. I'm like, hey, he beating the shit out of Aljamain, but he ain't going to sleep. And he was just laying there. He was just taking a beating. He was just falling on the ground. We found out after he did something to his back, but it looked bad at the time in the ring. You know what I mean? Ever since then, I just been having that slither doubt in my mind, and it didn't cost me money the last 2 times. You know what I mean? It didn't cost me money the last 2 times. Quick, what's good? Quick. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, quick. If y'all could, hit that thumbs up for your boy when you roll on in. Ready here for a good time or a long time. I'm saving the Canelo talk for the second block. We're going to talk about Canelo because I got a lot to say about Canelo. I'm letting y'all build with the MMA. I know y'all gotta, I know Quickie said working. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, while you work. I know some of y'all at work, right? It's Sunday morning. I know some of y'all probably on y'all way to church. You know what I mean? Some of y'all doing y'all Sunday thing, but I greatly appreciate y'all sliding through. You could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here. Thank you. You know what I mean? But Sean O'Malley hopped in the ring on Aljamain Sterling, right, with his Michael Jackson jacket on, right? So I'm guessing the next fight is going to be Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. Now, Sean O'Malley is a dangerous fighter, dangerous striker, right? But we all know Sean O'Malley, is not a very good wrestler. In this matchup, it's going to be striker versus wrestler. And I think Sean O'Malley kind of just said what we all know. I feel like, and I like Sean O'Malley, right? Sean O'Malley has had kind of a up and down career, mostly up though. You think Sean O'Malley is younger than he is. He like 32. He been around the UFC so long, right? He been around so long. You would think he one of them young old dudes. Like he 32, right? He been in the UFC about 10 goddamn years. You know what I mean? He been a star the whole time. Never had, never won a title. This would be his first now this be his second title shot, but the first time he actually had a real chance. He had a title eliminator, right? And then he broke his leg. He stepped back and he broke his own leg, so he ended up losing. And then he came back and he made Darvish quit. You know what I mean? I guess that earned him, this title shot. So it's gonna be Sean O'Malley versus Aljamain Sterling. This look like the next fight. And I'll tell you this. I don't think Sean O'Malley gonna beat Aljamain Sterling, man. He's wrestling too weak. We know Aljamain Sterling gonna wrestle him because Aljamain Sterling will be a fool to go out there and try to strike with him. And Aljamain Sterling is big enough, right? And he's athletic enough where he'll be able to close the distance and get in on Sean O'Malley, I believe. And I think he's just gonna take Sean O'Malley down. He either gonna submit him, right, or he gonna put him out of there. Sean O'Malley been stopped on the ground with the ground and pound before, right? I don't see Sean O'Malley. I think he too one-dimensional to beat Aljamain Sterling at this point. I don't think he's skilled enough. Henry Cejudo, I thought had enough skills to do it. Well, Aljamain, ended up, showing me that he even better than Henry Cejudo. He out-wrestled the Olympic gold, medalist wrestler, right? He out-wrestled. Like, that's something. Something happened last night. And I wish I could find that video of Aljamain and Henry because you could see it on Henry's face. Like, he said, you surprised me with that wrestling. Like, he looked him dead in his face, right? He looked him dead in his face. He was like, hey. Aljamain was talking. Henry Cejudo almost, shushed him a little bit. He was like, hey, man. He hit him on the stomach. He was like, you surprised me with that wrestling. And he damn sure surprised me with that wrestling. I did not think he was going to be able to out-wrestle Henry Cejudo. On top of that, right, I thought the wrestling was about even. I said that earlier that day. I said if the wrestling about even, right, Aljamain damn sure can't strike better than Henry Cejudo. Dog, last night, Aljamain was striking better than Henry Cejudo, too. What's good, Shay, girl? Appreciate you sliding through this thing. Glad you can make it. For all my gamblers and bettors and stuff, Canelo blew out shit. He didn't get the knockout. I had one for Canelo. I had one for Canelo getting the knockout. I had one for Canelo getting the knockout 1 through 6. And he ended up not getting neither. So what we about to do is we about to segue that right into the Canelo conversation because it's about that time, right? So did y'all happen to check out the Canelo Alvarez fight? I checked out the streets, right? The social media, the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Grams, and I'm seeing, what the streets saying and everything. I saw the fight myself, right? The streets feel like, Canelo Alvarez should have knocked John Ryder out, and I agree with the streets. He most definitely should have knocked John Ryder out. You know what I mean? They've been trying to sell us for a long time that John Ryder is this great fighter. John Ryder is strong. He a power puncher. This a tougher fight than Charlo and all that stuff, right? I saw two things last night, but one thing stood out to me. The first thing I would say is John Ryder is tough. John Ryder took some punches that night, right? That would have ended regular men. That would have ended regular men. Quickie said, I ain't watch that damn fight. I knew you wouldn't, Quickie. I know you wouldn't. John Ryder took some punches right in that fight that would stop regular men. So I give y'all this. John Ryder is tough, right? I ain't say he was a good fighter. I ain't say he was a skilled fighter. He is tough, right? But what was even more what jumped off the screen even more to me, right? Shout out John Ryder being tough. John Ryder is a little more tough than I gave him credit for, right? But also, I think Canelo Alvarez has slowed down a little more than I initially thought too. You know what I mean? Because a fighter, the level of John Ryder, you could try and tell me John Ryder is good, right? You could try to tell me John Ryder is a strong puncher and all that. You could try to sell me Ryder, sell me Ryder, but I know Canelo Alvarez, right? I've been watching him for a long time, before the steroids and after the steroids, right? Before the steroids, I was one of the biggest Canelo fans in the world. You know what I mean? On every fucking thing. When the first time he fought Triple G, I wasn't pulling for no goddamn Triple G. I'm pulling for Canelo on everything. I was in this boxing group on Facebook. I asked the Mexicans in the group, can I be Mexican for a day? When Canelo first fought Triple G, all the fucking Mexicans was like, hell yeah, we was in that motherfucker tripping. Like, it was like 30 Mexicans on that post. They was like, yeah, hombre. You know what I mean? That folks on that junk rolling on everything. But then, after that fight, he popped dirty for the steroids. I'm like, damn, fool, you didn't think you could beat dude? You didn't think you know what I mean? Is you who you say you is? Right? So understand, I know that Canelo is talented. I always been talented. Now, you could try to sell me John Ryder all you want to. But what I saw last night was I saw John Ryder be able to compete with a Canelo Alvarez. At no point in life should a John Ryder ever be able to compete with a Canelo Alvarez, man. John Ryder is, I get out that he is tough. I ain't say he was good. I ain't say he was skilled. He is tougher than I thought he was, right? But I also tell you this, as tough as he is, he was standing in front of Canelo from round 1 to round 12, right? Now, understand what I'm saying before y'all just like, he hating, because I really ain't hating. You know what I mean? What I'm saying is I see a difference in, I almost called him my boy. He used to be my boy. I see a difference in Canelo, clenbuterol Nello. That's the shit he took when he was taking steroids. But yeah, I see a difference in him now. Like, John Ryder was in front of you all night, and you put him down, but you couldn't put him out. You put him down, but you couldn't put him out. It wasn't no running. He wasn't even using the shoulder roll correctly. He was using the shoulder roll. Now, Floyd was standing in front of you. Half the night. You know what I mean? Because they're just who Floyd is, Floyd go dance on you, right? Floyd was standing in front of you, too, but he was making you miss. John Ryder wasn't even making Canelo miss. Canelo was landing on John Ryder. He was landing hard, and he couldn't put John Ryder out of there. You know what I mean? So it's not like John Ryder made you work for it. He was right there. At this point, Canelo Alvarez is a catch and shoot fighter. He's immobile. He has no feet. Him and John Ryder literally look like, I ain't gonna say rock'em sock'em robots, because it was a little more eloquent than that, right? It was a little more eloquent than rock'em sock'em robots up top, because Canelo do look good. He look good up top, with the head moving and the hooks and all that. But if a guy like John Ryder is able to sit in front of you all night, right? I understand, right, why y'all, don't want to fight a David Benavidez. I understand why y'all don't want to fight a Jamal Charlo, right? Y'all pretending as if y'all want to go fight Dimitri Bivol, when honestly, I think that's just a play on, I'm trying to avenge my loss. I'm trying to pretend I want to avenge my loss. When Dimitri Bivol saying, I'm willing to come down to 168, and Canelo saying, nah, I don't want you to come down to 168. I want to come up, to your weight division, because I don't want nobody making excuses. Right? I think at this point, John Ryder is the level. Canelo said before this fight that he ain't got that many fights, he retired. So I think Canelo can see and feel the same thing that I'm seeing. That man is I ain't gonna say he lost it, right? I asked the question, has Canelo lost it? I ain't gonna say he lost it, right? But I most definitely think Canelo slowing down. I think he's slowing down. I think he's slowing down greatly. You know what I mean? Like greatly, because whether you like Canelo Alvarez or not, ain't no way a John Ryder supposed to be going. Ain't no way a John circumstances, right? Circumstances. Ain't no way. First off, ain't no way a John Ryder supposed to be going 12, right? Circumstances. Ain't no way John supposed to be able to stand in front of you for 12 rounds and make it out of there 12 rounds. You knocked him down, but you couldn't finish the guy. You couldn't finish the guy that was ready to go. When that first John Ryder knocked down, he was hurt, and he was hurt bad. And Canelo couldn't put him out of there. Now, shout out to John Ryder. That's where that toughness comes in. He recovered well, right? He recovered, I guess you could say, he recovered quick, right? But it's Canelo Alvarez. It's Canelo Alvarez. Normally when Canelo Alvarez gets you hurt, 95% of the time, he getting you out of there. You know what I mean? Instantly. Like, it's quick. Soon after. It was something in that fight. It's either something about John Ryder, right? Which is what they trying to sell you, right? But we seen John Ryder fight plenty of people. The fight that really got John Ryder here is that Danny Jacobs fight. Go watch that Danny Jacobs fight. Yoda, what's good? Shaker said them knee problems starting to slow. Them knee problems starting to show also. Yep. He wear 2 knee braces and he ain't wearing them just for decoration. Now what? I think you wear 1 now. Yoda, what's good? What's good? Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Yoda. Glad you can make it. You know what I mean? And you think you think that we are about to believe that you want to fight Dimitri Bivol, right? Bivol is willingly saying, I come to 168. Canelo is saying, nah, I want to go to 175 because I don't want nobody making excuses about weight drain. It ain't weight drain if he willing, to come down. At this point, Canelo, I think Canelo at the stage in his career, right, where he know he can't beat the best guys that's out right now, but he at the point in his career where he don't want to pass the torch. He don't want to pass the torch to nobody, right? He'll rather go fight people like John Ryder, right, who we know he go beat, right? And John Ryder made a tougher fight. This how you know that he lost it. I ain't gonna say lost it, right? This how you know that he's slowing down, right? Because I don't think he lost it. He said Canelo got bad knees and elbows. Right, he did have that elbow in the elbow surgery. Or there a wrist surgery. I think he kept like it was wrist and it ended up being elbow or something like that. But I digress. I think Canelo, he see the writing on the wall as well, right? Which is why he's not trying to fight, his mandatory at David Benavidez. That's why he want to go up to 75, because if Bivol come down to 68, then he can't fight Bivol. Because he have to fight a mandatory, David Maria, David Benavidez. You know what I mean? He had to fight one of those mandatory. We could see Charlo aside, right? Because Charlo ain't had a fight at 168, right? So he a 160 pounder. But if Bivol come down to 168, that's not a mandatory fight. Well, but I think John Ryder was his mandatory though, right? So John Ryder was his mandatory. He do got a volunteer, so he got a volunteer fight. So at this point, Canelo could pick who he want to fight because John Ryder was the mando for one of those straps. Benavidez just mando for the WBC, and Morel the Mendez for the mandatory for the WBA. So that was either the IBF or the WBO. And I'm thinking it was a WBO. That sound like a WBO move. John Ryder versus Canelo, that sound like a WBO move. That sound like the only place they'll be able to get that jump to go down. But yeah, like it was hella apparent last night that Canelo Alvarez lost a step. Like surprised, because I was talking the whole day. I told my boy Edgar. My boy Edgar ain't fell through here yet, but I was telling everybody. I was telling y'all. I told Edgar personally. Edgar asked me, man. He was like, T, what you think about Canelo tonight? I was like, man, Canelo gonna fuck that man up, bro. He gonna fuck that man up. He was like, I don't know, T. he looked he looked kind of old in his last fight. I was like, bro, he's still Canelo. I'm like, he's still Canelo, bro, and he's still John Ryder. I said, talk your ass off, bro. That dude still, that dude still, one of the best boxers today. We can talk all this shit we want to. We can't say Canelo suck. We can't say Canelo suck. We can't say Canelo can't fight. We can't say Canelo ain't skilled. I was selling this shit out there like, bro, he's stopping, dude. My nigga True a lot was in early. He took Canelo, man, 1 through 4. And it made sense to me when he said it. John Ryder, Canelo Alvarez. That's the thing that people, not understanding. Listen to the name. They'll try to tell you that Jamal Charlo, right? They'll try to tell you that Jamal Charlo is a trash opponent. But then go fight John Ryder. You know what I mean? John Ryder just took you 12. You know what I mean? John Ryder just took you 12. John Ryder almost lost to Brandon Jacobs. Now Canelo ain't lose. No. He took him 12. He lost. He pretty much lost every round. Crush. He pretty much lost every round, but he made it a tough fight for Canelo. Canelo ain't have his way with him. It almost looked like, bro. And I noticed Canelo only throw one punch at a time now. He don't rip his combinations no more, unless he got you hurt. And even when he had John Ryder hurt, I forgot old boy name real quick. Even when he had John Ryder hurt, that time he ain't rip his combinations. I think Canelo. Almost, he got to conserve his energy. Like, he don't throw combination punches no more. He throwing one power shot at a time, trying to get guys out of there. He been kind of flat-footed, right? But he extremely flat-footed. Now, he showed footwork in that Triple G2 fight. Go watch him versus Triple G2. You will see Canelo footwork. Against Triple G1, too, you will see Canelo footwork, right? It's like, I be talking that shit about Canelo, but it's like, it's crazy seeing, it's crazy seeing. It happens so fast, bro. It happens so fast. And I've been saying this for a minute, though, but I think it's time to make that EP, bro. I really do think Caleb Plant that was the last of Canelo Alvarez, bro. That Caleb Plant fight changed Canelo, bro. For real. It done changed, dude. He ain't been the same since that fight. It's like that. That was his last gas. Plant got to 11 rounds. You get what I'm saying? Like, that was his last gas. I think that was the last time. Like, that was the best moment. Like, that's going to be the highlight of his career. Like, that's going to be the highlight of his career. When you really think about it, maybe him, Lara, and Trap. And a lot of people feel like, Lara beat you, right? Some people feel like Trap beat you. And Caleb Plant is probably your best win to me, right? Lara and Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? Everybody else, Shane Moser them, I ain't counting them. Don't count. Win. I knew he was going to beat Shane Moser. Shane Moser old as hell. He was old as hell. I knew you was going to beat Shane Moser. Your best win is Caleb Plant or it's Israel and Lara. And a lot of people think you lost to Lara. You know what I mean? But I think that Caleb Plant fight, I think you got to think like Caleb Plant made him work for that. He had to chase that man, you know what I mean, around the ring. Caleb Plant made him use them legs because he knew if he didn't use them legs, that fight, he was going to lose because Caleb Plant was getting off on him. I gave the first 4 rounds to Caleb Plant, honestly, right? And that's what tied the fight up, right? When Plant won the first 4 rounds, that's what tied the fight up. And then Canelo kind of woke up after the 4th. And, and it started being a more competitive fight. And that's how Canelo ended up winning, being up by 3 and 4 rounds, right? Because Caleb Plant just tied it up the first 4 rounds. So, of course, he can't be up 4-0 on Canelo, right? But so they had that jump 2-2. And then when Canelo actually started winning rounds, right, that's how you ended up, losing by 4. But I really do feel like Caleb Plant took a lot out of Canelo Alvarez. Like I feel like that was the last best of Canelo Alvarez, right? I feel like that was the last of the best we go see of Canelo. I think that moment, that beef, it was so personal. It was so much. He had so much invested into that. Because y'all go back and look at how, y'all remember how intense, my fuck got to fight on the stage, basically, pretty much, right? Canelo pushed Caleb Plant, right? Caleb Plant walked up back to him. He slapped Canelo. Canelo punched Caleb Plant, and Caleb Plant punched him in the stomach. Y'all remember that, how they were talking about that whole motherfucker, Caleb Plant mama, and, all that steroid shit, Caleb Plant was talking. That shit was intense. I think there was a lot on Canelo mental. There was a lot on him physically inside of the ring, right? To go in there and have to actually fight Caleb. Tax on his body, to have to locate him, to have to throw all them punches. He had to throw hella punches, you know what I mean, to stop Caleb, because you ain't going to be able to throw one punch at Caleb and stop him, because you ain't going to be hitting him with that one single punch. He was throwing combinations against Caleb. For real, whenever that's how I'm looking at that John Ryder fight. I'm like, bro, he not throwing this. I'm comparing his fight to Caleb, to be real with you. Because you did my nigga like that, bitch. You better do everybody like that. You better do everybody like that, goddamn it. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, you're not even throwing these combinations. I feel like, bro, that fight took a lot out of dude, bro. Like, I feel like they changed him. Because he ain't been, think about this. After that fight, he lost to Bivol, bro. The man was fat against Bivol, bro. He didn't even work out. He looked in better shape this fight than he did against Bivol. Bivol went out there and beat him up. Damn near stopped him, right? He came back after Bivol and he fought goddamn John Ryder. You know what I mean? John Ryder stood in front of him the whole night. He was able to knock John Ryder down, but not out. You know what I mean? He just went 12 with John Ryder. I don't think he ever go be the same. He just salute T. There was a time when I thought Canelo was nervous. And that's kind of unreal. And I think I'm having that moment. I was having that moment last night. I'm like, damn. Like this ain't Canelo, bro. Like, this is not Canelo, dog. And I be talking shit about him all the time, but I know that nigga got hands. You know what I mean? I'm like, bro, this is not the dude that I used to like and don't like no more. You know what I mean? You're like, this is not bro. Like, bro is how the hell? Yeah. I was like, how do he look just like John Ryder? Like, how do it look like two John Ryders in the ring? You know what I mean? Like, damn. It looked like two John Ryders in the ring. It was no separation of talent. You know how you get in the ring and you can see the separation of the skill? You should see a separation of skill when Canelo stepped in the ring with a guy. That's what I should have said 50 minutes ago, right? Well, I ain't starting Canelo, right? That's why I should have said 20 minutes ago, right? But I had to get here. You should be able to see the separation of skill, right? The separation of level of boxer, the separation of pedigree in goddamn Canelo and John Ryder when they get in the ring together. It shouldn't look like an even fight. It shouldn't look, you know what I mean? And people say it wasn't even. Man, I guess I never thought John Ryder was winning, right? He never was going to win that motherfucker, right? But that man, like, people say it was a shutout. I don't think that fight was a shutout. I think the 12-0 is ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. That's not how you shut people out. You don't shut people out by taking punches to the face and to the body. That ain't how you shut people out, right? You can't get a shutout, trading punches, right? That fight was more like 8-4, 9-5. 8-4, 9-3, 7-5. If something up in there, you know what I mean? Canelo won. On nobody's scorecard should Canelo had a loss, right? But to say 12-0, a dominant masterclass, no, bro. It wasn't, no, bro. No. Without them knockdowns, bro, looking at that fight, that was almost a different fight. You know what I mean? But the knockdowns, Canelo's supposed to win by like 4 or 5 rounds, right? But like everything outside of the knockdowns, bro, it looked like two John Ryders. To be real with you. It looked like I was watching two John Ryders in there. You know what I mean? But Canelo won. Canelo won. And on nobody's scorecard should Canelo had a loss, right? But to say 12-0, a dominant masterclass, no, bro. It wasn't, no, bro. And it was a little disheartening because I had money on it, right? And it was a little disheartening because I was like, damn, that's why he not gonna fight Jamal Charlo. Because Jamal Charlo would knock this dude the fuck out. I was like, Charlo would knock this guy out. Charlo way faster than Ryder. He got way better feet than Ryder. They want to gas up Ryder power and shit. Charlo hit harder than this nigga. I'm like, bro, and Benavidez don't hit as hard as Charlo, right? But Benavidez be throwing 1,000 punches. I can see Benavidez piecing Canelo ass up all night. You know what I mean? I can see him piecing Canelo ass up all night. If Benavidez can avoid those big shots, you know what I mean? Because Canelo got that push power. He got that push power where he could hit you, right? And it might not even hurt you, but he can hit you so hard he could push you and it can knock you down. Tank got that shit too. Like, it might not even knock you out, but they can score with it. They know how to knock you down. It can knock you off your feet. That's called sweeping power. He got that sweeping power. That's when you hit a nigga, you might not knock him out, but you know, you sweep his feet away from under him. That's what Canelo got, right? He got that sweeping power, which is what he was doing to John Ryder. He was sweeping this. Now, he was hurting Ryder, though. He was hitting Ryder. Ryder was kind of crumbling. You know what I mean? He wasn't just knocking him off his feet. You know what I mean? He was kind of crumbling. They probably was even made. They wasn't even made. He's at ring with Smiley head. He was supposed to do damage. I think it was Smile on purpose. I think they thought that he was going to do damage. But Ryder was able to stand in front of him. So what I said, Ryder was standing in front of him 12 rounds. And he made it a fight. He said he should have fought these dudes about 4 or 5 years ago. He might have had a chance. Most definitely, though, we were saying then. Like, y'all remember what I was preaching? I was like, bro, and I don't even necessarily think that these guys can beat you. It just will be a competitive fight. But now, I'm looking at him, he most definitely waited too late. He most definitely waited too late. Facts, Dan. He is not the same, Dan. He is not the same, Dan. He is not the same guy. He waited too late now. Bro, Benavidez, that's gonna be funny because I don't think Benavidez is strong enough to knock him out, right? So he gonna get punched on. Fucking with Benavidez. Charlo, though, he gonna quit. He gonna get hurt. I think he quit. He gonna quit messing with Charlo. Because Charlo gonna be moving around. He gonna be moving around, throwing haymakers, coming in and out, throwing combinations, fast combinations. You know what I mean? And he hit just hard as you do. He hit just hard as you do. And he a lot bigger than you. You know what I mean? So I see why he's standing away from those guys. John Ryder about his height. PGH, Brown on Boxing, what's good, pimps? Appreciate y'all folks sliding through. If y'all could, hit that thumbs up for your boy. We talked about Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo earlier. Now we talking about Canelo and John Ryder and how Canelo messed up the bag last night, letting John Ryder make the distance. That was selling us this whole time. John Ryder is tough. John Ryder is strong. John Ryder's tough. John Ryder ain't hit Canelo with a piece of punch. Raw. I thought he was strong. He ain't hit him with half a punch. He barely pinched it. I mean, he was punching him, but he ain't really do no damage, right? He ain't rock him or stumble him or nothing. Bivol was hitting Canelo, right? And Bivol was, wobbling him a little bit. Had him out there trying to box and shit, you know what I mean? Bivol was hurting him a little bit. John Ryder was just hitting him. You know what I mean? He ain't make him bleed. He ain't really, you know what I'm saying? He ain't put him like in a dire situation. Bivol put him in a dire situation. Charlo and Benavidez go put him in a dire situation. I think at this point in his career, he want to avoid those dire situations, right? If Bivol come down to 168, he ain't going to be able to voluntary Bivol because he just did his WBO mandatory, right? But he still got a WBC mandatory, which is David Benavidez. Still got WBA mandatory, which is David Morrell. So if you fight at 168, you try to fight Bivol, one of them is taking them belts from you. Whether it's a WBA or it's WBC, you will have to lose them jumps. One of them, I think WBC mandatory might be next. D Freak, was good. He said fast Canelo was washed. I don't think he lost it. Maybe that's what I'm saying. Washed. I don't want to say washed. He got. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah, he ain't the same. What's good, D Free? He ain't the same. It ain't the same, man. Like I'm watching him fight John Ryder, and there is no way out there. I'm looking at that fight. I'm like, bro, the choreography of this fight, this is an even fight. Yeah, D Free. That's what I was looking for, bro. He is shelling himself. I don't think he done, but he is shelling himself, bro. That's not the dude. That's not the dude. That's not Canelo. That's not Cinnabon. That's not Cinnabon, man. That's not a little cinnamon, dog. That's, man, like, he might as well pass the torch now. For real, like, he might as well pass that torch, dog. Because at this point, we can see the writing on the wall. We can see what you're doing. We can see what you're doing at this point. If you had to knock John Ryder out, we would have still been like, you know, man, he got to fight Benavidez. He got to fight Jamal. It would have been hard for us to figure out because you still would look like that nigga, right? You still look like that guy. But we see you fighting John Ryder. We see what you look like against John Ryder. It's becoming apparent to us why you avoiding a David Benavidez in a Charlo. I think you probably should have went ahead and got Charlo maybe. You should have got Charlo years ago, right? But last year when you had the chance. PJ, the time ain't passed for him to fight Benavidez. The time passed for him to win against Benavidez. He got to fight Benavidez pretty soon for the WBC belt. He got to fight Benavidez soon for the WBC belt. The time has passed for him to beat Benavidez, right? But if he had went out here and knocked John Ryder head out right, we wouldn't have been able to say nothing, really. All right, bro, look at you. You out there fighting bum. But you went out there and you fought this bum, and this bum got up with your ass. Bro, it's time for you to go on past the torch, man. It's time for you to go on past. He could drop it. He got to drop 2 belts because he ain't fighting David Morrell either. He got Benavidez or David Morrell. He can drop both of them, and they about to fight one another. If I'm everybody, I'm waiting to see what Canelo gonna do. Bivol and Canelo, because I see about to have Bivol and Canelo. I see the play with Bivol and Canelo. And I told y'all that he wasn't gonna fight Bivol again. He was gonna act like he wanted to fight Bivol. I already see what's up. That fight gonna fall out about a weight. That fight gonna fall out about what weight they gonna fight it, right? And then he gonna end up fighting another scrub. But the thing is, he gonna have to move a division, or he gonna get stripped of his belts. Because you know they love Canelo, they'll let him keep him if he fight, you know, in a different division. But if he fight in that division, it ain't gonna be no excuse around them mandatories. Ain't gonna be no excuse around them mandatories. Is he never fight Benavidez? He would drop it first. Is he down? It ain't no more. It ain't too many alleyways, right? It ain't too many more ways around Benavidez and David Morrell. It ain't too many more ways around it. You know what I mean? But I seen how he looked last night, bro. Man, physically, he looked in better shape. He didn't gas at all last night. He was able to, and I was gonna hit on this earlier, but I gonna spit it out, right? He was able to. He didn't gas last night, but he wasn't really throwing these combinations. He was pacing. He was pacing himself. He was pacing himself a little more, right? He almost went in there with the intent to score points and box, right? Are we at the Canelo Alvarez score points and box phase? If you at the score points and box phase, you most definitely not going to beat Dimitri Bivol. You know what I mean? It looked like last night Canelo was scoring points and he was boxing. He wasn't throwing these combinations. He was like, okay, if I can knock him out with one of these hard shots when I throw him, that's cool. but I'm gonna throw these single hard shots. I'm gonna pace myself, right? He said, "Yeah, T, I definitely see him somehow fighting another scrub." Yeah, with oh yeah, my bad. With Bivol, this how this gonna work, right? Bivol saying I'm coming to 68. Canelo saying, "Nah, I don't want no weight drain excuses. I want you to. I'm gonna come up to 75." Bivol told you he won't undisputed. Bivol want to fight Beterbiev, but y'all see what's going on, right? And I'm gonna tell y'all this. I should do it for another EP, but I'll go ahead and sprinkle it in here, right? It's Eddie Hearn in the zone. They want Bivol and Canelo. I was telling folks a while back, like, hey man, Canelo go fight Bivol because he have to, not because he want to. He have to. He know he have to, right? Bivol is signed to Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. Bivol won't undisputed. He want to fight Beterbiev. That's the fight in his division at 175. The only reason Bivol got in the Canelo picture is because Canelo thought he had a cherry pick in Bivol, right? He's I can go up to 175, beat up Bivol, the weakest champion at 175, right? Give me a belt. And I was done to be great. Bivol won't undisputed. Arthur Beterbiev got the other belts in his division. I think Beterbiev got 2. He got 2. Bivol and Beterbiev is the fight. He won't undisputed. So the fight for him is Beterbiev. Canelo is with Matchroom DAZN. Bivol is with Matchroom DAZN, right? So Matchroom DAZN want to put on a Matchroom and DAZN fight so they can collect all the bread, right? So they want Bivol to fight Canelo by any means necessary. What Bivol is saying is, bro, I want undisputed. I want to fight Beterbiev, which is why they giving Beterbiev and Bivol all these mandatories and shit, right? So they can't fight one another. So he like, well, if I can't fight Beterbiev anyway, I might as well fight Canelo for the biggest bag. But Bivol want undisputed. So he's saying, okay, I'll fight you again, but this time we gonna do it at 168 for in your division, because if he beat him in his division, Bivol gets the 168-pound undisputed championships. And then we could get Bivol Beterbiev. I mean, we could get Bivol and David Benavidez, right? And Canelo know that if I lose at 168, I lose the straps. So I'm not about to fight Bivol again and lose at 168 and lose my straps. But Bivol saying, I'll fight you, but my ultimate goal ain't to fight Canelo. My ultimate goal is to get undisputed. So I want to fight Beterbiev. And if I do fight Canelo, I want to do it at 168. What Canelo is now saying, nah, we're going to do it at 75. But Bivol won't undisputed. So I guarantee you that fight going to happen that it could be 3 options, right? Because it is the zone. They either go pay, Bivol a hell of a lot of money to fight him again at 175, because they're not going to let Bivol get undisputed at 175. They ain't going to do it. I had did an EP when they dropped those mandatories on both of them. I was like, man, why would they drop undisputed? I mean, why would they drop a mandatory on both of them and then they got undisputed fights coming up? It's because Eddie Hearn wanted to make goddamn Bivol and Canelo to keep that bag in the zone. Y'all know the zone. What was that article about that? That was they billion plus in debt, right? They had that DAZN scam with the Tank and Ryan fight. You know what I mean? Charge people 7 times and shit, take money for a pay-per-view and shit like that. You know what I mean? Those folks need their bread right now. They owner put that out there in the world for a reason. The owner put that out there in the world for a reason. He said that in the article. He was like, we ain't made the best decisions, but he said nobody is in jeopardy. But from this point forward, we are making better decisions. He said it was trial and error. Everybody was new. We was an upstart company, but now we only making better moves. So they gotta make plus moves, which is why Ryan Garcia fight Tank now. You know what I mean? Which is why they damn near did have the Ryan Garcia Tank fight, because they wanted to get that shit on DAZN. If they had got that fight and they couldn't put that on DAZN, it would have been no more boxing on DAZN. I guarantee you that. There's no more Golden Boy on DAZN. They need that bread, man. Them folks, Bivol and Canelo is going to fight. Canelo gonna have to just Canelo will either have to swallow the bullet and fight him at 68, right? Which will be better for boxing because if Bivol get undisputed, he either gonna let him go or he gonna actually fight, Benavidez and Dave Morrell. And if we can get Bivol versus them, that'll be live. Bivol ain't the biggest guy at 175. Normally, when he fight guys at 175, he's smaller. He bigger than Canelo, but he not the biggest guy at 175, right? And Canelo not even a real 168er. That nigga started at 147, and his head and his neck and just grew out of nowhere in his chest and everything. But I digress. You know what I mean? He a lot bigger than Canelo, but Canelo not naturally a 168er either. You know what I mean? But Bivol ain't the biggest 175 guy. He like 6 foot, 6'1". You know what I mean? In comparison, Ben Whitaker, the silver medalist winner, he fought in the card yesterday, the Canelo card. He's 6'3". You know what I mean? So, he's not the biggest guy. And he more slender than most of them guys. So he can make 168 easy. He been saying for a while he can make 168 easy, right? So ain't nobody gonna be hollering about no weight class. Canelo just don't want to lose his undisputed titles to Bivol because he can't beat him. He thought Bivol was a cherry pick, and now he ran into this circular shit where he got to fight Bivol because low key he got to honor his contract. Y'all remember that 10-fight contract that Canelo signed for like 300 million, 400 million, some shit like that. He did 3 fights on that jump and he dipped off. When he came back to the zone, they didn't make him a new contract. He just picked back up on that contract. They gave him like 5 mil, and he just picked back up on that same contract that he been had. He owed them folks like 7 more fights. That's the junk that's being kept on the wrap right now. He said he gonna retire soon. He did 3, right? He had 3 on that junk. So he got about 4 more fights on that thing. I guarantee you, Canelo told me he gonna retire. I bet he's after 2 years or 4 fights or some shit like that. He got to finish that DAZN deal. You know what I mean? He got to get them. They in debt, right? They made, and it ain't just them, but I guarantee you it's heavily their boxing tab, right? They got DAZN, and they got DAZN as a whole in debt like that. Because on that article they told us, they said when their company first started, he invested 1.1 million in was it 3 soccer franchises and 2 boxing franchises and some other stuff, cricket and all stuff that's on DAZN. He went around, he invested in them and he put them on DAZN, right? And that man been losing money ever since, right? That's why he put the article at the beginning of this year, like, DAZN lost so amount since then, but we're not going out of business. Ain't nobody in jeopardy. We knew, but now going forward, we got to get it. And y'all see DAZN making all these big fights and shit, this year type deal. But I digress. They got to get that bread, man. So Bivol go fight Canelo. That's a DAZN fight. They go fight each other. They go fight again. That's why he had to fight Triple G. It's a DAZN fight. Y'all notice he fighting straight DAZN fights. Triple G, John Ryder, Dimitri Bivol. What they got in common? DAZN. Everybody on DAZN. That's in-house money, bro. That man ain't finna fight them folks. He's not gonna fight them. That's why he want to go up to 75. Like, nah, bro, I want to keep my belts. Let me keep my belts. Let me keep my straps. You know what I mean? But they go fight. They go fight. He ain't got no choice. I've been saying that for a minute. People been saying, nah, he ain't gonna fight that man again because I don't want to lose again. He ain't got no choice. He ain't got no choice. The thing gonna come in is where they go fight it. But I think eventually one of them go break win. You know what I mean? Because I don't see him get, if Bivol stand on his ground and say, well, I just stay at 175, I don't give a fuck. Then Canelo ain't gonna have a choice but to fight somebody at 168. Then they have to be a mandatory. Or drop the belt. You know what I mean? And if he drop the belt, there's gonna be 2 blame of a duck. Or he could fake injury. Which is always the Canelo move. My elbow hurt. And then, and I think his elbow really is messed up though, but he always uses it at the most convenient time. You know what I mean? He always uses it at the most convenient times. But what I took from that, man, he not where he used to be. It looked like It looked like I was watching two John Riders in the ring, man. I didn't really see a difference in level of fighter that night. You know what I mean? I ain't see a I ain't see neither one of them really jumped off the screen. You know what I mean? And that's not what I was expecting going into that fight. You know what I mean? I think Canelo at this point, and he said it before the fight. He said he said he'll be retiring pretty soon. You know what I mean? He said he'll be retiring pretty soon. He ain't got nothing but about a handful of fights left. And at this point, these big fights that you want him to make, like these Benavidez's and these Morels and these, Charlos and fights like that, I think we can hang them Jones up. I think we can hang them Jones up, man. I think we can hang them Jones up. After seeing I ain't gonna hold y'all too long because I'm hungry. I'm finna go get me something to eat. After seeing, bro, first of all, I lost my money, right? So that's why I'm laughing. I'm laughing to keep from crying. I gotta make my bitch. The game started at 10. It's gonna be mad. I'm laughing to keep from crying. This nigga took John Ryder 12 rounds, bro. I'm sitting there looking at this shit. I'm like, and the funny part is, I'm looking at it. I don't really take on. It's a fight. You can kind of tell how the fight gonna go out a couple rounds. I'm like, bro, he not gonna knock bro ass out. And then he knocked him down. I'm like, hell yeah, he's finna stop his ass. And then he just went right back out there and he started doing the same shit he was doing before. He just started pacing again. He didn't even try to put the gas on him. I don't think he got the gas tank. Him and AJ fight the same way right now. But AJ a heavyweight. And he getting in his 32s and 3s, so I understand him. Nigga, you 200 plus pounds. Canelo, nigga, you 160 pounds. Why you so tired? You know what I mean? But he can't punch in combinations no more. He can't really push the gas on people like that no more because he ain't got the gas tank to do. He gonna tire himself out. That's what he did against Bivol. I think in his mind, he know that, right? With Triple G, matter of fact, him and Triple G look like a rock'em sock'em robot fight because Triple G is a little better than John Ryder. So Triple G, was able to get off more than John Ryder, right? That's the fight in between that I was missing. Triple G 3 fight that we never asked for. That's why I couldn't remember it because I didn't even watch that jump because I don't want to see you fight you and old ass Triple G fight each other. I watched this one though, right? Because I like boxing, but I was not going to support that Triple G fight, not the Great White Hope. I wasn't going to support that jump because then nobody want to see this shit. You supposed to been fighting goddamn Charlo. At that point before you finessed us out there. But anyway, I digress. He looked regular against Triple G, looked regular against John Ryder, lost to Bivol. You know what I mean? It ain't and Triple G 40 plus. You know what I mean? Y'all in there looking like two old men. Y'all in there looking like grudge match. You seen grudge match? Y'all in there looking like Sylvester Stallone and the coach from Any Given Sunday. And shit, man, bro. No, Canelo. We throwing. He ain't fight Benavidez, but he ain't fight. I don't think he fight big as far as big fights go. We've been talking about Canelo. Don't fight this guy. Canelo, don't fight that guy. I'm done talking about it, bro, because he ain't. I see why. It makes sense now. He became ever apparent last night. But I appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing, man. Glad y'all can make it. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. Greatly appreciate everybody sliding through. Skin the Hardaway Southern T. This ain't the past, ain't the future, but just the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.